All right, welcome back to Emory Board Production for a brand new school year, and I hope that I'm talking to homeschool teachers, moms and dads, as well as classroom teachers, loaded down with resources, but searching for the secret, if you will, to teaching mathematics seamlessly, so that kids get the concepts and are able to build on what they already know and learn further, rather than learning operations and computations in isolation. And the way we're going to start this school year is to give you kind of a template of the four operations along with simple examples and the appropriate action language that will get you off on the right foot, not just for this season, this school year, but for all your kids' school years going forward. So let's take a look at this. If we know we've got four operations, and let's see, we'll change colors here. We certainly have addition, we have subtraction, we have multiplication and division, and we know that we can take fairly simple examples of each of those, and I'm going to use the language starting right now that I'd like to hear you use in your classrooms, which is 2 joined with 2 is 4, and 3 take away 2 is 1, and 4 sets of 2 or 4 groups of 2 is 8, and last but not least, 4 grouped into sets of 2 is 2. Otherwise stated is 4 grouped into 2 sets with how many in each set. And let's go over and see how that would look if you were to have something in your back pocket that you could glance at once in a while, or while you were up at your whiteboard or using your Prometheus or whatever your school supplies you with, so that you can help kids with this concept on a consistent basis. So let's take the initial example, the addition that we had. It really should look like this in your mind. 2 joined with 2, or a set of 2 joined with a set of 2. Make sense? Sure it does. That's our addition problem right there. Let's go on to our subtraction problem. Lots of different ways to look at subtraction. It gets a little bit more complicated, and if you can try and digest that concept yourself, you'll better get it across to kids in all its various forms. But let's take the one that we had above on this blackboard. 3 take away 2 is 1. Let's try it this way forevermore. 3 remove 2, or 3 take away 2, or now gets complex. It can be 3 compared to 2, and even 3 joined with 2. Now, subtraction can be treated, we could do lessons on that all by ourselves. In fact, I've written a piece called Subtraction for Second Graders that you can find on Amazon.com. But we will treat it for right now as a more complex subject that you just take down this information and you will see what I mean when we get into subtraction videos. Let's go on to multiplication and division and the proper action language in those situations. So let's say multiplication, we really want to say most times 4 sets 2 or 4 groups of 2, and try and stay away from the 4 times signature. How about division? Let's change colors here. You and I are so used to saying divided by, and we think with these small numbers that we can slip that language by our kids. But the fact of the matter is they might get it with the small numbers for a few weeks, and things get more complicated, and they realize or don't realize that divided by really doesn't have meaning for them in their everyday language. Let's stick with 4 grouped into and you can finish that probably into sets of 2. How many times? Think about that language, it makes sense. Or 4 grouped into, I'm going to abbreviate here, two sets how many in each set? It'll depend on the way it's actually written, which of these definitions or wordings is accurate. How many in each? All right, take that down. You can email me at maui4456@gmail.com if you have questions about what this really means. But it is simple language. It is language if you use consistently, you won't have hiccups from kids 2 or 3 weeks or maybe 2 or 3 months down the road. Thank you for tuning in to Emory Board Production. Next video we're going to talk about manipulatives really quickly and make sure that we're off on the right foot with which manipulatives we're using for which style of learning. Thank you.